Christmas is over and the new year is upon us. At least when the video comes out. As of recording, it's December 5th. 2021 has been a year, folks. And I think that most of us can agree that 2021 was better than last year. For one, movies came back, and for another, video games got back in development, and we got more this year. I was trying to figure out something to end 2021 off with for this channel, and so I thought, screw it. Why not I make a video talking about my experiences with it, of video games, shows, and movies, rank them, and do a sort of little mini review on each of them. And so guess what we're doing today? Well, you already know the answer. You've read the title of this video. What do you think I am, a stupid person? No, you idiot. I'm going to be ranking from worst to best, and just as a bit of a rule, if I saw it in 2021, it's going on the list into the video, despite if I saw it another year. Also, it doesn't have to come out in 2021. It can be from whenever year, as long as I watched it in 2021, it's going on. And another thing, this is just my opinion, it's not fact. So get yourself comfortable, grab a bowl of popcorn, sit back and watch me ramble about things you do not care about. And let's start off with the TV shows. Jericho is a show that starts off great, however problems come out throughout. The pacing put me into a coma, man, I swear, and the focus is constantly shifting, not allowing the audience to connect to any of the characters or the subplots. To give it credit though, it does at least try to give each of these characters a background as well as a story, and the acting is pretty good, but it doesn't do anything special with any of these characters or bring anything new to the infinite possibilities the concept brings to the table. WandaVision starts out on a great mysterious note, making you wonder what is going on. However, this is an example of the mystery being better than the reveal. The expedition gets tedious and some characters are fairly annoying, but the acting is great and the first 5 episodes are pretty good, so I'll give it that. When Agatha comes along though, the show kinda gets ruined. Yeah, Shooter's pretty decent. The first season is easily the best and kind of the show's savior. It delivers intense moments and the script is pretty good. It's an enjoyable watch. However, the second season is painfully mediocre. It tries way too hard to make everybody look cool and it doesn't focus on plot or characters. And season 3 starts off in the exact same way. However, halfway through season 3, it remembers what made the show good in the first place. It takes risks, it cracks less jokes, and it delivers some really satisfying moments. And in the last episode, it kills off a major character. And it's not a fake out death either. It's a true, they're gone. Sayonara. After that, it makes you terrified for each character since it's shown to you that it's not playing around. However, it's in the last episode of the series, and so that tension does not stay long. Overall, it's decent, but only because of that first season. Fellas, I can confirm, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is pretty good. I love that the characters are the focus of the story and that it maintains that throughout the series. I love the cinematography, as well as the conversations these characters have. I like the action, and it feels like a faithful sequel to The Winter Soldier. However, the villains are incredibly forgettable. I don't even remember what they were or what they were fighting for. And while I really like John Walker's character in the first 5 episodes, the last episode they literally murdered his character arc. You had one job. Overall, that's pretty good, but it could have been so much more. Okay, I'm only like 13 episodes in, and so far it's pretty great. It keeps a sense of mystery and manages to make things that you would expect shocking. That and the show really likes developing these characters and making each feel unique. I don't really have much to say. Once again, I'm only like 13 episodes in, but still pretty great so far anyways. Loki is good. Go watch Loki. Psych is just amazing. I finished this series this year, and to be completely honest with you, it's probably one of my favorite shows. Seriously, go check this out if you're wanting a fun time. Okay, so that's all the shows I watched this year. Now let's move on to the movies. Holy crap, the Samson movie is terrible. There is no redeemable qualities about this film. It is just terrible across the board. It's horrible. It doesn't even get the Samson story right. And here he's a teenager that just doesn't simply want to fulfill his destiny. No, dude, he was one of the worst leaders of the Bible. You got your history wrong. Overall, this movie is horrible, and this is a sin. Have you ever heard of the rule show don't tell? Well, this C.S. Lewis movie basically chucks that out the window and decides to do whatever it wants. This movie is so boring, man. It felt like I was watching a wall of paint dry. It's literally just an audiobook with stock footage over it. That's all I can describe this thing as. I watched this in a theater with booming loudspeakers, and I was starting to drift off. And I don't drift off in movies. Wonder Woman 1984 is one of the laziest movies I think I've ever seen. I mean, with a budget of $200 million, you would expect something at least good. The CGI is unfinished, the story seems like it was ripped off from Aladdin, and the characters are all bland. It's just a lazy movie. Yesterday can go burn in a fire. The Goonies ripoff. I don't really like football, and since I don't really like football, I don't really like football movies, which in turn makes me not like this movie. This movie just tries way too hard to be funny. Whoever named this movie needs to be fired. Honestly guys, it's mediocre. It deals with loss and how our main character copes with it, and I have massive respect to the movie for doing so. However, the humor really isn't for anybody. It feels like it's trying to please everyone and ends up making nobody laugh. This movie is just kind of mediocre. I can't really list the good or the bad, it's just kind of there. Michael Bay tries to make a James Cameron movie, and this is kind of the result. He spends way too much time on this romance, and it doesn't feel engaging or real. It feels like an 11-year-old girl's imagination. However, the Pearl Harbor sequence itself is incredibly well done, so I gotta give him props for that. I highly respect this movie and what it was going for, but it kinda just missed the mark. I can't tell if this movie is made for kids or made for edgy teens. Random side note, I got a new mic, so if the audio sounds different, that's why. It's been 3 months since I've seen this movie, and I still have no idea what I watched.
I ate some bugs, I ate some grass, I used my hand to wipe my tears.
This movie is just kind of insane. Yeah, it has problems, yeah, it's not perfect, yeah, not all of the comedy lands, but do I care? No, because it's over the top, and I like over the top. It's a dumb fun kids movie, but there is no reason why you should be seeing this if you're over the age of 10. Okay, this movie surprised me more than I thought it would. It doesn't just preach the Bible like Jesus died for your sins or and all of that. We already know that. No, it asks the questions like, what is the meaning of life? Why are we here? Like, all of the hard questions are in this movie. They ask very philosophical questions, and I highly respect that. Enjoyable but forgettable. The thing is with Cruella is that the writing and the story is pretty dang bad, but the directing, the cinematography, and the acting, you can tell everybody is trying to make this movie the best it can be, and it turns out pretty decent for that. You know what? This is actually pretty decent for an Aladdin ripoff. Fellas, I gotta be completely honest with you, Black Widow kinda turned me off. It didn't feel like a spy thriller movie, it felt like another MCU explosions galore movie that was directed by Michael Bay. Shut up, it's fun. This is a major missed opportunity, but it's still enjoyable. This is so stupid, I love it. You can tell that everything good in this movie is a complete accident, but I love it. Yeah, it's good, I guess. This movie is absolutely bonkers.
Hey, this is Walter.
None of these characters caught fire.
But I have been touched by your kids. And I'm pretty sure I've touched them.
Oh my God!
Run.
As a major Sonic the Hedgehog fan, this movie is a miracle. It's not as good as the first Lego movie, but it's still fresh and it still feels new, so as long as they keep coming up with creative ideas, I'm still gonna keep liking these movies. This is one of the most brutal movies I think I've ever witnessed. This is all I ever wanted from a Pokemon movie. This is actually really freaking good, go check it out. I think this is the most unlikable kid I've ever seen in any movie. Venom 2 is just genuinely so much fun. I think what makes this better than the first is that you can tell that all of this was intentional. Things don't pop up out of nowhere, and to be completely honest with you, it's not exactly a 4-star movie, but it knows exactly the direction it is going to go. This movie just says, screw it, let's go with the comedy side of Venom, and it full-blown embraces it. And to be completely frank with you guys, I highly respect this movie for pulling that. More people need to know about this movie. The fights are great in this one, the jokes are bad in this one. Is it cheesy? Yeah. Is it cringe at points? Yeah, but it's so self-aware and the comedy hits. Well, this isn't really my type of movie, so I don't exactly love it. I have massive respect to this movie. Still holds up pretty well. I don't care what you say, this movie is cinema. This is so much better than it has any right to be. Okay, so I watched a couple more movies in December when I was editing through this, except I'm too lazy to put them back in. What? However, this movie deserves to be put in this video. While I for the most part enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home wasn't my cup of tea. Where was the tension? Where were the consequences? Where was the emotion in any of these movies? And I can confirm that Spider-Man No Way Home is the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I can't really say much about this movie without spoiling it, but this movie's emotional punch and risks and consequences for each and every single character in this movie, it's phenomenal. It's something I never thought MCU Spider-Man could have done. I was absolutely terrified that this movie would just be fan service for 2 hours and 30 minutes, but no, it truly has a message to say, and it truly has a story to tell. I can't say much about the movie without spoiling it, but seriously, this is probably my favorite MCU movie to date, and it is absolutely worth your time and money. This is literally just a movie about 3 kids living their lives, and I love it. The only reason he got away with the things he did was because he's Leonardo DiCaprio. I didn't know anything about Dune walking into this, and I came out actually really loving it. This is the most terrifying movie I think I've ever seen. This movie is so rich with emotions, man. Personally, I think this is Nolan's best and most grounded work. Yeah, sure, the main premise of the movie is the human race trying to avoid extinction, but at its core, this is a movie about a man and his relationship with his daughter. Is this my favorite Nolan film? No, but I can acknowledge that this is easily his best film to date. Alright fellas, hear me out on this. Tenet is probably one of my favorite films of all time. It's so original, it's so rich, and it goes absolutely off the wall with its premise. I understand why Tenet is his lowest rated movie, but hear me out on this. You do not watch this movie with the mindset you watch other movies with. I made an entire video about this, but please do not watch that. But for me at least, this movie just gets better the more I watch it. I'm not gonna say much about this movie, you know how great it is. I wouldn't call Fallback a bad game, but there was this glitch where like the character would go everywhere you did not want him to go, and for that I gotta give the game a 2 for now. 10 Shift has the potential to be incredible. The weapon balance is fair, and if you're playing casually, the game is pretty fun. However, it does have some problems. The in-game store is broken, at least for me it is. And some game mechanics need probably a lot of tweaking, to be honest with you, and motion blur needs to go. But besides that, this is pretty alright. Would I recommend it at full price? No, but if you can get it on sale for fairly cheap, I'd recommend it. I made an entire review of this at the beginning of the year, and it's pretty good. It's decent, it's fun, it's good and all, but it's definitely not a $60 title. Gunman Clive 2 is good, and you would expect me to say a lot more about this game, but I really can't. It's really just a good platformer. Firewatch is interesting, because I can say without a doubt that this is a very, very good game. It has a great story, it has beautiful scenery, and it definitely has a script and writing that is captivating. However, the main drawback is that this game is maximum 4 hours long, and the main price tag is 20 bucks. So if you're able to get this on sale for 5, grab it, but if not, don't even bother. Is the game perfect? No, I think the controls could be better, but I do think this is a very, very fun game. I don't know if this is because I'm bad at the game or not, but Rainbow Six Siege is pretty good to me. I think it's a good FPS, but it's not my favorite. As someone who's actually flown a plane before, this is actually pretty accurate. I swear, challenge mode in this game is borderline impossible without taking out a loan. It's better than Minecraft, that's a fact, not an opinion. I did not expect this game to be good at all, but it's actually pretty dang great. You know what, instead of making a review, I'm just gonna pull the Apex EXE on you and make an entire montage.
Soldier boy, tell me. I got a new damn for y'all, call him Soldier boy. Just gotta punch, then crank back 3 times from left to right. Soldier boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it, why me? Crank that soldier boy, that's Superman. Crank that soldier, why me? 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 Soldier boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it, why me? Crank that soldier boy, that's Superman. Why me? Crank that soldier, 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 why me? Soldier boy, I'm in it. Superman,
why are you running? Why are you?
Alright, I'm probably gonna get crucified for this one. I know Deltarune technically isn't a finished game yet, but so far I really like the direction it's going. The humor lands every single time for me, I swear, and I really do like the mystery this game has. The combat never feels repetitive, but it always feels engaging. I will say I do like exploring Chris's town and seeing how each Undertale character would fit into the real world more than I enjoy exploring the Dark Worlds. I do wish Toby would release the full game at once rather than give us bits and pieces of it over time. But despite that, I think Deltarune is a fantastic time. While I'm not too far into Hollow Knight, I kinda love this game already. The game doesn't really have a tutorial, nor does it really have a certain objective you have to complete. It basically just says, go explore. Every single area I have traveled through feels distinct and unique. Overall, so far at least, the game is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend this. Celeste is downright incredible. The game brings up an incredible challenge, and it feels so satisfying when you finally overcome it. The game's story is simple but effective, and the level design is so clever but so teeth-grindingly difficult. Honestly, this may be the best platformer of the decade. Welcome to White Space. You have been living here for as long as you can remember. You play as a boy named Omori, and you go on adventures with all of your friends. You explore this wonderful world and help other people that you run into. Everyone is always happy. Everyone is safe. This world is innocent, and everything is going to be okay. Welcome to White Space. You have been living here for as long as you can remember. Omori is a game that's cute and innocent, but also disturbing and filled with anxiety. The art style is beautiful as well as haunting. The combat is engaging and fun, but also echoes real life choices and consequences. The story is childlike and fun, but is also dark and filled with the feeling of sorrow and despair. I say all of this to show you that Omori is almost the polar opposite of itself. As innocent as it seems, it is constantly spiked with something much more sinister. This is honestly an experience that no other game will ever be able to recreate for me. The story manages to invoke a sense of fear and sadness into the player within seconds. And the sheer whiplash that comes from that is off-putting, but in a special way. But beneath all that darkness and trauma, there is hope and something special here. The story in this game is one of the best I have ever witnessed in any piece of media, and the game gives you so many experiences that are one of a kind. I will say that if you are considering playing this game, please be aware of the warnings this game gives, but if you can get past that, Omori is an experience that deserves to be played, and one I will not soon forget. Hey there, I'm here to say thank you. Thank you for the people who watched this video to the very end, and thank you to those people who watched each and every single one of my videos this year. It's been a year since I made that Mario 3D Land video, and now I have 27 subscribers. And I know that sounds small compared to 1,000,000 or 100,000 or 1,000 or even 100, but think about it. That is 27 human beings that actively watch this channel. And again, I know that sounds small in the grand scheme of things, but that's kind of insane to me. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the drive and the encouragement to keep going, to keep doing this. Thank you. As for what I got in 2021, well, I think we can assume that after that Why We Love Video Games video, I basically excluded humor from every single thing. So every single video I made in the second half of this year was kind of dry, man, like dry as crap. So I'm gonna try and add a bit more humor to these videos, like not the insane chaotic humor like in the first half of the year, where I didn't get any information about what I wanted out. I just kind of cracked jokes for 5 minutes and called it a day. But yeah, I'm gonna try and add a bit more humor to this, have a bit more fun with this. Yeah, I have no other things to say. This is unscripted. But despite that, have yourself a great day. I'll see you next time, Chief.